Do you remember that time when you were really angry with me when I was part of AR Zone and we interviewed Colin Blakemore? Do you remember that?
Oh, yes, yes.
And what Blakemore said, because he was like, I think he was opposed to hunting, he was opposed to circuses, he was opposed to zoos and everything. So he sounded half like an animal advocate, but then he was also a vivisector. But
Yes.
his argument was based on cruelty. He said that he took kittens and he put them to sleep, then did experiments on them, and then killed them, so that there was no cruelty involved.
Absolutely,
Yeah, we're back to that. You say, well, you're cruel. You go, well, they're asleep. I'm not being cruel here.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And if you base your opposition to what humans do to other animals on cruelty, then you have to constantly be proving that it's cruel. And this is what's happening now, sort of with the vegan movement. There's all these farms claiming to have high welfare standards. And then what's happened, there's this repeated investigations into those farms to prove that the standards of welfare aren't high and there is cruelty involved. But if you base your opposition, if your fundamental opposition to what's happening to those animals is because they're being exploited and killed, you don't need to do all those investigations.
Well, I mean, like I was about to say, just to take, say, Animal Rising's most recent campaign. If your campaign is, we oppose animal use, right? You don't need to visit a farm.
No.
You know they exist. We don't need to go there and video anything, right? Our position is animal use, not animal cruelty. Exactly as you say. If you say our position is animal cruelty, we need to go and evidence the fact that it definitely is cruelty.
All the time.
Nobody's going to argue with animal use.
You have to do it all the time. As soon as you get a farm claim, our animals are treated wonderfully, and when they're sent off for slaughter, they don't know about it, don't feel anything. If they make that claim, then immediately what happens, someone has to go and investigate to prove that that's not true, because, the desire is to prove cruelty. But you see, I've had farmers say to me, come and visit my farm and you can look round and see how wonderfully I look after the animals. And I say, I don't need to see your farm. Let me ask you something. Do you send your animals for slaughter? And the farmer goes, well, yes, of course I do. I said, well, then I don't need to go to see your farm because, I already know, what you're doing is wrong. These animals are going to slaughter. You're exploiting them. You're taking their lives. I don't need to see what conditions you keep them in.